Hello friends, welcome back to our channel Little Coders, and today we'll be learning about tuples. So we'll be learning about tuple basics like how to pack, unpack and compare tuples, along with how to slice and delete tuples. So without wasting any more time, let's start. So the basic syntax for tuple will be like this. Say I'm defining a tuple like it will contain information about months. So say January, so this is how we can define a tuple. So this is just basic syntax. How to define an empty tuple, right? So say like we just don't want any element in it, but still we want to define a tuple. We can do like this. So this is our empty tuple. Now if we want to have a tuple, a single value, what we still need to give a comma to it. We cannot just have a single element in it, but we have to incorporate with a comma. So let's say tup2 is our second tuple where we want a single value, so 10. We still have to give a comma to it like this. Okay, and then only I can print the single value tup2, and zeroth element has that value. So see, but if I define like this, tuple 3 with 20, now we cannot print tuple 3 and we still try to print the zeroth element to it. See what happens, it's giving an error. Okay, so tuples begins with zeroth element and they can be concatenated, sliced and so on. So next what we'll be learning about packing and unpacking a tuple. Before going there, let's write couple of more tuples. Say we want to create a tuple called robot, and we'll have all the information about a robot into that tuple. So it's the name of the robot, Johnny, who is made up with steel, who was built in the year of 1945, who is a Terminator, and who was built in, say, Chicago. So, so we build this particular tuple, and then we'll have another tuple with only numbers. Okay. Say 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. So this is another tuple. Now, so tuple 1 includes list of information of a robot, and tuple 2 is kind of a numbers. We can call the values in both the tuples and see what we can print. So I'll try to print the first tuple, which is a robot, and I'll try to print, say, the 0th element, right? And it prints like this. Or I can print, say, 0 2, 0 1 2 3, third element, 0 to third element. So that also I can print like 0 to, say, third element. I can print like this. Okay. So basically it prints 3 minus 1 till the second position of the tuple. So if I want to print the fourth element, I have to give like 4. So then it will print like 4 minus 3 till the third position. So if we want to print till the fourth element, then I have to give it as a 5, means the second argument will be 5. So it will print like 5 minus 1 till the fourth position. Since I have given 0 to third, it is basically did 3 minus 2 till the second position. So 0 1 2 it printed. Okay, we can also print the second element, which is numbers, and we will be printing, say, like 1 2 0 1 2 3 4 6 7. So I'll print like 7, and it prints like the till the last element. It started from the first element and it print till the last element. Okay. So now how to packing and unpacking, right? So in packing, we place value into a new tuple, while in unpacking, we extract those values back to variables. So let's see how we pack and unpack tuples. So let's say X is our tuple, and we will have Johnny 50, which is a number, and then we'll say robot, and this is basically where we are packing the tuples. right? So as I said, right, in packing we place a value into new tuple. So this is called packing a tuple. Now how we unpack a tuple, right? So let's try to unpack it. Say it will be just opposite. So we have to give all those values first, and then we will be unpack it into a variable. So let's say, so it will be like company employee to X. Yes. So this is how we unpack it. So X was the variable, right, we defined earlier, and we need to unpack it to X. Now what we'll do, we'll print, say, employee. You see, it is 50, right? But what was the value inside the tuple X? Tuple X had those three values, right? At the 0th position we had Johnny, first position we had 50, and second position we had robot. Now since we unpacked them, unpack that tuple into X, and we basically transform those values into company, employee, and salary. So company got Johnny, employee got 50, and robot got, and salary got robot, right? So let's print the other two and see if that is what happened. So we'll print company, see Johnny, and then print salary. So salary got the value of robot. So this is how we can pack and unpack tuples. We hope this is now clear to everyone. So during packing is easy, how we define a tuple, and unpacking is we basically uh, unpack those tuples values into these new values, or new variables rather. So now we basically unpacked this X, which is a tuple, these values to these new variables. So how it unpacked? X had these three values. Johnny came into or got assigned into company, 50 got assigned into employee, and robot got assigned into salary. Okay. Now what we'll do, we'll compare tuples. Okay. So let's say so a comparison operator in Python can work with tuples. The comparison starts with the first element of each tuple. If they do not compare to, equal to, less than, or greater than, then it proceeds to the second element, and so on. It starts with comparing the first element for each of the tuples. So let's try it. Say A has two values, sorry, say 5 and 6. B has two values, say 1 and 4. And now if we compare So how we compare, we'll come into it later on, how to write if statements and all, but for this chapter, right, how to compare it, we'll use it. So A greater than B. So what we are saying, if A greater than B, print. What will print? Will print A is greater, right? And then else will write B is greater, right? Invalid syntax. Okay, that is because I have written in the same line. If then B, print A is greater, else B greater. Okay, so here it says A is greater because it's compared 5 with 1. As I said, right, it starts with, its comparison starts with the first element of each tuple. So we are comparing tuple A versus tuple B, and internally it is comparing the first element 5 with 1, and since 5 is greater, it says A is greater. Let's say another example. A, this time we'll have 5 and 6, and B will also have 5 at the first element, and we'll have 4 at the second element. So what I said earlier, that if you cannot compare the first element, it will compare with the second element of each tuple. So now if I write the same thing, if A is greater than B, print A is greater, else print so still A is greater, right? Because it compared first element, it couldn't compare, means it couldn't compare means it compared, but both the elements are same, so it compared the second element and still A is greater, so it printed A is greater. We can try one more example. Say now we'll do B as greater, so A is say 5, 6. In B we'll have say 7 and 2. Okay, now we'll do the same thing. If A is greater than B, B print A is greater, else print B is greater, because the first element it compare and 7 is greater than B, so it says B is greater. Okay, next is deleting tuples. So as I said earlier, tuples are immutable and cannot be deleted. You cannot delete or remove items from a tuple, but you can entirely delete the tuple. Okay, so next thing is deleting tuples. So as I said, tuples are immutable and cannot be deleted. You cannot basically remove the items from a tuple, but we can entirely delete the tuple by using the del keyword. So let's say del A, what will happen? Now if I want to print A0, let's see what happens. So A is not defined, means the tuple A has been deleted, but we can still print B, right? Because we haven't deleted the tuple. See? Okay, so the next thing is slicing of tuples. So to fetch a set of sub elements from a tuple or list, we can use that slicing function, which is easy and we have already done it before. So let's see an example how to do it. So X is the tuple having all the elements A, B, say E, F, say Z, right? So we have these 5 elements in the tuple and we want to slice it from B to F. Okay, so we want 0 first, from first, second and third. So we want first, second and third element. Print X. So as we know, if we give it 0, it will start from A. Now we want it from B, so we'll give it 1. Then we want 2, 3. What will happen if we give 3? Guess how long will it print? It will print 3 minus 1 till the second element, right? As we have discussed this before. So it has printed till E because we gave till the third element, and it will calculate 3 minus 1. Now to print till F, we have to give print X 1 colon 4. 4 will do 4 minus 1 till third element. So here it is. BEF. We have printed successfully. Basically, this is a slicing. So we slice the tuple from first to fourth element, or rather first to third element. There are several built-in functions with tuples which we can use, like all, any, enumerate, max, mean, sorted, length, tuple, etc. In future section, we'll see how to use them and how it will benefit us while we use those built-in functions. Now, before we end this particular class, let's try to understand the advantages of tuple over list. Basically, we can have a list similar to tuple, but tuple has couple of advantages. So the first advantage is iterating through tuple is faster than with list, since tuples are immutable. Tuples that consist of immutable elements can be used as key for dictionary, which is not possible with list. If you have data that is immutable, implementing it as tuple will guarantee that it remains right protected. So these are the three basic benefits or advantages we have in tuple over list. So with this, we'll finish our class today and we'll see you again in our next chapter. Till then, goodbye and stay safe.